Okay, so today we will see again some of the basic concepts of computer graphics from the first unit, that is graphics primitives and scan conversion algorithms. Okay, so the outline is like this, that the basic concepts of computer graphics, then what is pixel, what is resolution, what is aspect ratio, then what is the pixel depth, then what is color depth, then what is frame buffer, and what is rasterization. Okay, so now again we have seen that computer graphics allows us to represent or express the data in terms of pictorial form, right? So computer objects are presented as a collection of discrete picture elements. Yesterday I told you that if I want to plot a line, I need 2 points, that is starting point and the ending point. Okay, so and in between those 2 points we have to draw the line, and that line is nothing but the collection of small or discrete pixels. Okay, so each and every pixel we are going to join, and so that we can visualize a line on the output screen. Okay, so what is that pixel? Pixel is the picture element, that is pixel, or it is also called as the PEL. So it is the smallest addressable element on the screen. Now, it is defined as the smallest size object or the color spot which can be displayed and addressed on a monitor. Now, those pixels are normally arranged in a regular 2-dimensional grid and are often represented using dots or squares. Now, you can consider this screen as a collection of grids. Like I have given you the example that you can consider this as a graph paper. It has some vertical rows, it has some horizontal rows, that makes the different squares, and each square is represented as a pixel. So am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now next point is resolution. Okay, what is the resolution? Now you know this, the resolution, that is the number of pixels which are contained on a display monitor expressed in terms of number of pixels on horizontal and vertical axis. Now I told you that this screen is a grid of vertical rows, vertical and horizontal lines. Okay, so now in each horizontal line or in each vertical line, how many number of pixels are there? So it depends the, or that is called as the resolution. So it is the number of pixels which are contained on a display monitor, and it is expressed in terms of number of pixels on horizontal and vertical axis. And definitely if the number of points is greater, then you will get the higher resolution. That is, greater the number of points, higher will be the resolution. Okay, now the aspect ratio, what is it? It is the ratio of the number of x pixels to the y pixels, and the standard aspect ratio for PCs is 4:3. Okay, now I'm saying that for a circle, the aspect ratio is always 1:1. Okay, and if it is different, what will happen? Can you tell me? If the aspect ratio is say 1:2 or 2:1, what will be the figure? Aspect ratio of the circle I'm saying. Whether the shape will change of the circle? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, definitely. If for circle, if we keep the ratio as 1:1, then only you will get the complete circle in proper form. Okay, but if you change that ratio, you will get the ellipse. Okay, so now why we are maintaining the aspect ratio? Now whenever will come in the next units, that is transformation. So whenever you will transform the objects, while translating or while rotating the object shape should not change. Okay, so we have to maintain that aspect ratio, and that is this is the aspect ratio, that is ratio of number of x pixels to the y pixels. Okay, so whenever we are transforming any object, we should maintain the aspect ratio of the object. Okay, now this is the common resolution or the respective number of pixels and the standard aspect ratios. Okay, earlier days, the resolution was this 320 by 200. Then so the number of pixels were, you can multiply this, that is 64,000 pixels were there, and the aspect ratio is considered this ratio is calculated from this point, that is 320 by 200. So 8:5 was the aspect ratio. Then comes the 640 by 480 resolution, and then the number of pixels were something like that 3,07,200 pixels were there. So the aspect ratio was 4:3. And then finally we are nowadays using this 1280 by 1024, and the aspect ratio is 5:4. So these are some of the common resolutions, the number of pixels and the aspect ratios. These are the examples of this. Okay, the next term is called as the pixel depth. Okay, what is the pixel depth? Now, it is the number of bits used to store each pixel. Whatever pixel you have to store, it has some number of bits assigned to it, and those number of bits are called as the pixel depth. Again, if greater the pixel depth, the more colors a pixel can have, and in turn, definitely, if more colors are involved, the size of the file or that picture will be the more or bigger the file size. So greater the pixel depth, the more colors a pixel can have and bigger the file size. Okay, and again this monochrome graphics, that is black and white graphics, it has 1 bit pixel depth. Okay, that is only for black or white. So this is the pixel depth, that is number of bits used to store each pixel. Next term is the color depth. Okay, again, what is color depth here? The number of memory bits which are required to store the color information about a pixel. We know that pixel is storing the number of bits here. So a pixel here, the number of memory bits which are required to store this color information about a pixel is called as the color depth or the bit depth. Okay, and corresponding to the intensity value 0 or 1, the pixel can be black or white. Okay, again these are some common color depths used in PCs. So the more the number of bits used per pixel, the finer the color detail of the image will be, and more memory will be used for storage. So suppose the color depth is suppose 4 bit. Okay, and for monochrome I told you that it takes only 1 bit. So how we can calculate the colors, number of colors used? 2 raised to n. So this is the n bit column. Okay, color depth, that is this is n bit column, and you have to calculate the number of displayed colors as 2 raised to n. Okay, if it is a 1 bit for monochrome, 2 raised to 1, that is 2, so it can show only the 2 colors, that is black or white. Okay, similarly, now this example we will consider if it is a 4 bit color depth. So how we will calculate the number of colors? 2 raised to this n. N is what here? 4. So 2 raised to 4 will be 16. Okay, so that display will it can have 16 colors. Okay, and that is the common name for that display is the standard VGA, video graphics adapter, and all that. Okay, so if it is 8 bit, that is 2 raised to 8, it can have 256 different colors. So 256 color mode. If it is a 16 bit, then 65,536 colors will be displayed. So we say that these are the high color machines or high definition. Okay, again similarly 24 bit, so these many colors, so combination can be shown, and it's a true color image. Okay, so these are the examples of how you can find out the depth of the color and how many colors will be available over there. Okay, So this is the color depth. Next important point is the frame buffer. Okay, now what is the frame buffer? Now in raster scan displays, again the raster scan, what is raster scan, what is random scan, that we will see in upcoming slides. But for now, just understand this, that in raster scan displays, a special area of the memory is dedicated to the graphics only. And this memory is called as the frame buffer. Now we can consider in simple language, we can say that whatever you want to display on the output screen, it is always stored into the frame buffer. Okay, in this way we can consider that whatever you want to display, I want to display one line on the screen, so that information about that line will be stored into the frame buffer. Okay, so whatever you want to display on the output screen, it always goes to the frame buffer. Okay, now the amount of memory required to hold image, it depends primarily on resolution of the screen image and the color depth. Now we have already seen what is the resolution, what is the color depth. Okay, so that depends on the amount of memory required to hold image. It depends on the resolution of the screen image and the color depth. Okay. Now, the formula to calculate how much video memory is required at a given resolution and bit depth is given as here. So here, 8-bit color depth is given, okay? And the resolution is say 1024 by 1024, right? So we can calculate this memory, which is required by this frame buffer by X resolution, by Y resolution, by bit per pixel. So 8-bit per pixel. So whatever value comes, that will be the memory required in the megabytes. Okay. Now, what is this frame buffer? Now, we know that a frame buffer is a digital device. Okay. Now here for color depth N, I'm saying that N is the color depth. So N number of bit planes are used, and each bit plane contribute to the gray shade of the pixel. Okay. Now this frame buffer is the digital device. So this is the digital device, and your screen, this is your output screen, that is CRT screen, and this is the analog device. Okay. Now, whenever you want to display the information, whatever picture I want to display on the screen, that picture information is stored into this frame buffer in the digital format. Okay, so when you are going to display the digital information onto the analog screen, you have to use this digital to analog converter. Okay, so the digital information will be converted with the help of this DAC into the analog information. Okay, and then only we can see whatever image you have. Suppose here I have plotted one triangle or any object that will be displayed here. Triangle information will be stored in terms of digital, and then that image will be converted here and it will be plotted onto the output screen. So how it plots, that we will see in the raster scan and random scan displays. Okay. So this is the frame buffer. Now again, next important term is the rasterization. Okay. Now rasterization means what? It is the process of determining the appropriate pixels for representing picture or graphics object is known as rasterization. Now we have some numerical problems in this unit, that is with the help of DDA or Bresenen's algorithm, we have to plot the lines. So what usually they ask the question like rasterize the line from 0, 0 to 5, 5. Okay. Now rasterize the line means what? You have to find out the pixels that comes in between 0, 0 location to 5, 5. So 0, 0 is the starting point, 5, 5 is the ending point, And in between from that 0, 0 to 5, 5, you have to identify each and every pixel. So you have to rasterize those pixels. So this is the determined. Rasterization means what? You have to determine the appropriate pixels for representing a picture or graphics object, that is, and this process is called as the rasterization. Okay, now as I told you that your screen is considered as a two-dimensional grid. So whatever square you are able to see here, so this grid, you can consider this as the output screen. Okay, this screen you can consider as the output screen. These are the horizontal lines and vertical lines. So here each and every this square is a pixel. Okay, so I have just pointed out here that this is the pixel, picture element or pixel. So each and every square here is a pixel. Okay, now here what we have done, from point A, what is its location? Consider this is the starting point of your screen. Okay, so the coordinate for this point A is say 0, 0. Okay, and accordingly, so this is first 0th row, first column. So this location will be 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 0, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 0, 9. Okay, so this is the location, and suppose this is 0, 1, 2, 3. So 3, 9. So from 0, 0 to 3, 9, we are plotting the line. So this is pixel B and this is pixel A. Okay. So this is the line that we have rasterized here. And these are the highlighted pixels so that this line will be seen like this. Okay. Now, the first term you have understood what is a pixel. So each and every square in this grid is called as a pixel. Now, again, one more term I can see here, that is addressable point. So what is the addressable point? When a pixel is, just pay attention to these underlined words, that is when a pixel is identified by its lower left corner. This is important. Pixel is identified. I'm saying that this particular square, you can note this mouse pointer. This particular pixel is a or this particular square is a pixel, and this is its lower left corner. Okay, now when the pixel is identified by this lower left corner, it occupies the finite area to the right. So I will go, when I identify this pixel, this corner, I will go to the right of this pixel. So this much part I will cover, and then I will go above this point, above this point. So again, above this point, that's why this pixel will be highlighted. Okay, so when we are going from point A to B, okay, I have come across, I have crossed these 3 cells, right? So these 3 cells will be highlighted. Okay, similarly, I have crossed this pixel at this corner point. So this is my addressable point. Okay, so now this point is common to 1, 2, 3, and 4 pixels. Just note down here that here at this point, my mouse pointer is here. So this point is common to the 4 pixels, 1, 2, 3, 4. So which pixel you are going to highlight? So in this case, I can say that this is the addressable point for this above particular pixel, which is highlighted here, because this is the point I have identified. So I will go to the right and I will go to above of this point, and then this pixel will be highlighted. Similarly, now it directly crosses this pixel. So this is also highlighted, this is also highlighted, and finally it reaches to this point, B point. But in this case also, this B point is common in all these 4 points. Okay, so here also I have to check that this is the addressable point. So I will go to the right, I will go above, and then I will highlight this pixel. Okay, are you getting what is meant by the addressable point? Okay, now we have to consider the special cases when we rasterize the lines. So what are the special cases here? So special cases are considered like horizontal line, vertical line, and diagonal, that is 45-degree line. Okay, now if my starting point is say 0, 0, and so along x 0, along y is 0, and if ending point is say x axis, it is 0, and y axis suppose 10. So I will plot this vertical line. Okay, so vertical line, and when I plot the vertical line, so only these many pixels will be highlighted. So in this case, it comes as a straight line, quite a straight line. Okay, similarly, if I plot the line, this horizontal line, that is 0 0 to 10 0, so this line will be highlighted. Again, it will be quite a straight line. Again, in which case you will get a straight line? In which case you will get a straight line? If I plot a diagonal line here, okay, 45-degree line, so each pixel, this pixel will be plotted. Okay, so only in special cases we get straight line of pixels, and all other lines appear as a series of steps as shown in this figure, that is line AB. So what I'm saying, that we have plotted this line AB, but on the screen you will get the effect of this line as a Jaggis effect. Okay, so it is called as aliasing effect or the Jaggis effect, because line looks like a stair step case. Okay, so this is the rasterization. Okay, now the next term is the scan conversion. So the process of representing continuous picture or graphics object as a collection of discrete pixels is called as the scan conversion. This is again another point, and that we will cover in the upcoming sessions. Okay, so up till now, have you understood?